Hello, everyone. Welcome to the WookieCast. Today we're here with Christian Streaty. Thank you so much for joining us. And she worked on Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures and Star Wars The Bad Batch. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I was just telling you that I love Wikipedia. It's a lifesaver, so I'm happy to be here.
I'd love to get into a little bit of how you work to introduce young audiences to Jedi for the first time and how that kind of played into how you approached your work.
Yeah, I think like from the beginning, that was always the plan was like, how do we get Star Wars to like the youngest brains and like keeping it like appropriate? Because I mean, like, I was watching like Revenge of the Sith probably way too young. So we wanted to like do an appropriate version of that. For us, or for me, I always looked at theme first, and that was like the way I approached any story I wanted to tell was first I wanted to see what theme or lesson I wanted to do, and then I sort of worked backwards from there. So I think like even adult geared shows have similar themes to a lot of the ones in our episodes. So it's really about like paring it down and putting it into simpler terms, just for kids to understand. And then you can add all the like fun lightsaber stuff on top of it.
That makes a lot of sense. The three main characters, Kai, Liz, and Nubs, each have very distinct personalities. What were some of the aspects of each that you wanted to explore with the episodes that you worked on?
Yeah, I love all of them, of course. I feel like they're like my kids, but I would always say that like Kai was like that's literally my son. I feel like he's super bombastic and sometimes like over eager, but he always means well. And I think when I write for Kai, that's probably like when the most of myself comes in. Because like he's the type of kid who like will have something like quick and funny to say, like when he's in like a pretty dangerous situation, which I like relate to. I always lean towards that kinds of stuff. Liz is like super creature guru and like very sweet, which I like obviously relate to. It was always important for me to make sure that when it was a list-driven episode, like a creature episode, that we also still had like a lot of the fun swashbuckling in it. Because I think with like creature-driven, you can get pretty soft with it. But I was able to write one of my favorite episodes I wrote. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was she like finds a baby, but there's still like a lot of swashbuckling in it. And Nubs was just so fun. Like he's at his core like the plant guy, which I like do not relate to because I have like a black thumb and kill every single plant like within a 5 mile radius of me. But it was always nice getting to explore that. And then like obviously he's just so fun to write for.
Does your son have a favorite out of the three?
No, like Kai is my son. I don't have a son.
Oh, okay. Curious. And I think that one was Creature Comforts.
Yes, that's
Have
the one.
your
It's like one of the first ones I wrote. I don't know why I was like blanking on it, but I think it's really sweet.
Nubs is kind of an interesting character to write because he doesn't speak. So how do you get across what he is trying to, you know, give off to the other characters when he doesn't exactly speak basic?
Yeah, for Nubs, like it sounds silly to say, but I didn't realize how difficult it was to write for him until I did like a Nubs like based episode. Like I of course have written for him before, but when I did like the episode in season two, I think it's called Nubs and the Bubbling Bandits. It's like him and Wes on this fun mission. But that was when I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually kind of hard to write for him. Just because his lack of like you said, basic language, like he speaks Pubian, I think is the name of the language. But it ended up being like really fun for me to rely on like the other characters like reacting off of him and like his own like actions. And I think I credit like most of Nub's funny stuff to our board artists because they like take what we write and they like make it like physically so much funnier. Like they put a gag in an episode where he like rolls into like a bowling ball and he like spins like literally like a bowling ball into this like enemy, and it was so funny. Like I remember laughing out loud, and I didn't write that in the script, but they take it and make it their own, make it much more funny.
That's really interesting. In the process of writing some of those episodes, did you have a chance to squeeze in any things that you named, like or created? Because naming things in Star Wars is always so much fun.
It stressed me out, like the thought of like naming like something that would be there forever. I tried to sneak in stuff. My friend's daughter is named Ava, and I put her in Mystery of the Opal Cave. We have an Ava character in there. So I would take it and try and like Star Warsify her name. So I think there's like an extra Y, which felt more Star Warsy. Um, there's like a few other little things that I can't think of off the top of my head, but I loved doing stuff like that. But then also like obviously like I would never put my own like last name in there or anything, but I try to do little things that like if my friends are watching, they would be like, okay, I know that she wrote that episode.
That's really fun. Was there one episode that you worked on that was more difficult to break story-wise than the rest of them?
Yeah, we had a few, but I think for me personally, there's an episode in season 2 called Chop Shop Calamity. And that's a Nash, Nubs, and then Romy and another droid episode. And they're like at this chop shop trying to get this part back. And in the room, it was like simple. It was very easy to break. Like, this is what happens. And we were like,
Mm.
cool. And then I went to write it and I was like getting so confused with the layout of it. And this is like 100% a me problem, but I always personally have time like a difficult time like orienting myself to like sets. Like so I was like, where am I in the chop shop confused me. So I was like, I don't know where I am. And there's some writers who would be like, oh, Nash is coming in from the north side and like Romy's on the west. And I was like literally just thinking about it right now is getting me confused. So like physically I was confused with that, but once I like figured that out, it was easier. And then story-wise, that's another one where it was just Nash who spoke basic the whole episode. So it was hard
Mm.
to not make her too like over explainy. So we wanted like everyone to bounce off of her. But I think for me, once I figured out that the theme was like teamwork, we were able to like do like the completing the sentences thing and like making it make sense. And that was like fun. That's like one of my favorite episodes now to look back at.
We often don't hear a lot about the behind the scenes process of kind of breaking the story and like writers' rooms. That's kind of an unknown process. Did you have any episodes that you didn't write that you had a lot of fun, you know, giving input to for other writers that they then took that and ran with it?
Oh my gosh, yeah, every episode I didn't write is more fun in the room because you can just throw out stuff that like you don't have to write it. So you're like, figure it out. No, I think obviously they were all so fun. I liked Katie Kineski. She's was our story editor. She did the finale and she did a lot of the big like tentpole episodes, which were like so cool to like really get into like kind of nitty gritty like Cyrus Tabor stuff. And that was always fun to like unravel in the room. Um, I personally always lean towards like a goofier episode, I think, just because I don't know, I always said I had like Looney Tunes like capabilities. That was like my dream. Um, but yeah, the room was so great. It was so nice, like being with writers or with like the Lucas team and everyone like just trying to make it a good show. And I thought that it was like such a cool experience. And it was also my first like writers room ever to be a part of. So it was very cool.
That's a lot of fun. The Nash isn't a Jedi, but she's still very much a central member of the group. What role did you want her to play in demonstrating her that heroism isn't just limited to Jedi and Force users?
Yeah, I love Nash. I think she's like obviously more of like a Han Solo comp. And he's obviously not force sensitive. So it was cool to sort of bring that down to a preschool level. I also work with kids. I'm a substitute teacher like on the side. So I always would imagine like the meltdowns that would happen if like everyone in the room could like move things with their mind and like one person couldn't. So I was like, okay, that one person has to be pretty special. So I think that's where Nash shines. She's like special and all of that. And like one of my favorite episodes that we did, like we think we broke the episode first was Nash's Race Day, which was written by Katie Kineski again. And it's like a Nash based episode. And I think it like gives good insight to her character and it shows that like to the kids, like you can still be awesome and you can be a hero and you don't have to do like the cool like hand wavy stuff. And she gets to avoid like a lot of the Jedi drama. So I think she has like the best case scenario in the show.
Yeah, all of the like all the training and oh, I can't do this.
Yeah,
And
and she gets to like hang out with them. So she like has it both ways.
you mentioned that in one of the episodes you struggled with not making Nash overly explainy, and then even for preschool age viewers, not wanting to make these lessons feel overly instructional. How did you go about that? Like tweaking it to, you know,
Yeah, I think that was always hard because you want to be clear when you're like
yeah,
working with kids, of course, and they're very like literal in the sense. And I would get notes that would be like, kids don't know this like metaphor, so you have to like explain it. And I'm like, I didn't think about that. So there's stuff like that. But I think luckily because we're in the Star Wars galaxy, it's such a like storytelling rich world that even if you are a little explaining, it's so gorgeous and like beautiful that you can like really get lost in it. So I feel like that's what I relied on. Like if it was too explaining at one point, you could like have a lightsaber battle in the next scene and be like, okay, yeah, this is cool. Like get them back into it.
the visuals are so great. Like because, you know, earlier Star Wars content, you know, and then how it's progressed. I'm sure you're a fan of several other Star Wars media.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It was very cool to see like from beginning to end.
I kind of always like to ask as kind of a bonus question, what was the first film that you saw in theaters for Star
The
Wars?
first Star Wars media I ever consumed in my life was Attack of the Clones. It is my like my parents are not Star Wars people, and my best friend's mom took us, and it like changed my life. Like I was like, I'm gonna marry Anakin Skywalker. I didn't know anything about him. I was like, he's never done anything wrong. He never will do anything wrong. Like, so I was like in for the heartbreak of a lifetime, but but that was like I'd never seen anything like that movie, and it was so like, oh my God, I still love it. I got to watch it I think 2 years ago they like had re-released it in the theater. It was so nice to watch again.
That's a lot of fun. Back to Young Jedi Adventures, which characters surprised you the most once the voice actors brought them to life?
Yeah, it's a hard one. Actually started at Lucasfilm in the casting department in
Mm,
animation. So I like got to work on Resistance and Bad Batch and Clone Wars, and I was lucky. Like I feel like I had a pretty good arsenal in my head of voice actors, like as I was writing. Um, and we were able to get Noshir Dalal, who voices Admiral Rampart in Bad
mhm,
Batch, in some Young Jedi stuff. And I literally like I remember sitting in the room when we cast him as Rampart and he has like such a special like energy. He's like literally the best. And so we were luckily able to get him on Jedi as Cyrus's dad and then he plays like a prospector called Michael Zala in one of the
mhm.
first episodes I like ever wrote. And at the time I was script coordinator on the show also, so I was in the records all the time. So just seeing him voice that character on a episode I wrote, like it was the first time I'd ever heard anything I written like come to life, and it was just like, oh my God, it was so special. And of course, like D. Bradley Baker, like you have to mention him because he's so amazing too. Like I did temp for Nubs, like we would have to go in and like do like temp voices sometimes before we got the actors in, and it's like impossible. I don't understand how he does it.
Yeah, for sure. Um, some of the audiobook people as well. Is how do you do the Chewbacca, the roar? Like, how?
Like we've all tried it, but like I don't, it's a skill.
For sure. Were there any story ideas or concept that you loved but ultimately couldn't fit into the series?
This is like not an episode that would ever happen in this world. But I am a musical girl. I need a musical. If anyone out listening, like I need a musical Star Wars. I don't even need to write it, just make it. I would never pitch that in the room. I think I would get ejected out of the room, but I think they all know that that's what I secretly want. And I like on like a more grounded basis. I like a bottle episode, so I would have loved like, and I kind of wrote one with the Rainy Day Beast, but I like episodes when they're just kind of in one location, like telling stories.
Mm,
I like stuff like that.
yeah, for sure. The High Republic, the whole era, is often associated with optimism and exploration. How did that tone influence the stories you wanted to tell compared to stories perhaps during the Galactic Civil War where everything is dark and they're all dying and it's, you know, a lot more bleak?
Rough. Yeah, I think the era, and I think when Michael Olson and the team like created it, that was always like the idea. It was to put it in High Republic because it like gave a lot of space for levity, which I think was welcomed. Obviously, it's a kids show. You don't want it to be like too dark. And I know like in High Republic we have like the big bads like the Nile and stuff, but there's no strong Sith presence, and I think that it allows for everyone to exist without like a huge dark cloud. Because we could always go to a different era and just like seclude it, but you're still like, but where are the Sith? So I think in this era it's more they're like bubbling, but they're not like prominent. So I think it offered that.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to shift a little bit towards some of your work on Bad Batch, if that's okay. Just 'cause thinking of some
Yeah.
stuff. What
Yeah,
were
for
some
Bad
of
Batch, I
your
was I was just a casting coordinator, so I was an assistant, so it was a lot of fun over there.
what were some of your favorite casting choices or people that got cast in Bad Batch?
Yeah, that's so impossible. Again, I'm thinking of No Share right now off the top of my head, who's Admiral Rampart. He's amazing. Working with Dee was like literally experience of a lifetime. He's so amazing. Like he's obviously very talented and he's also very, very sweet. Like because we had done some records in person, and then we went completely remote. And Michelle was always in New Zealand most of the time, so that was fine. But we went remote for the pandemic. And Dee has a whole setup. Like he's really good with his own studio, and he would like reach out to us and let us know like how to set up people's studios because I had to go around and like help each actor get their home studio set up like during the pandemic. Like we had masks and everything, and I'm like delivering kits to them. um, he was like so helpful with that. Like he would be like, "This is what you do," because I don't know anything about that, and he like knows everything. Rhea Perlman was so fun. As Sid, she was like, oh my gosh, she's so funny and like great. Literally anyone we recorded with, I was like, this is like the coolest job ever.
What was the first Star Wars project you worked on?
I think the first was technically Clone Wars. It was the last arc of Clone Wars, which was like very cool for me because after I watched episode 2 and 3, I went straight to Clone Wars. That was like my fandom experience. So to be able to start with that, and I think the first record, Matt Lanter was like echoing a Hayden like line. He was like repeating it, and I was like, oh my God, this is like the coolest day of my life.
Yeah, that must have been a lot of projects then over the years before Young Jedi Adventures, because our Wikipedia page isn't updated. And so we have that and the Bad Batch stuff on there, but I didn't know about the rest of them. It's
Yeah,
really
I was
cool.
like luckily able to do a lot in a short amount of time. I think I started in 2019 and then I started on Jedi. I don't remember the years, it's all mixed up, but I was able to
COVID.
yeah, like what happened then, but I was able to do Star Wars Resistance, which was really fun and sweet. And then I did like Vader Immortal, the VR experience, which was really cool because I'd never done like video games. And I worked on all of our Lego specials, like the Lego Life Day special, and then we did a like Halloween-y special, and then we did a summer one, which was really cool.
I'm seeing a couple of Visions links here as well.
Yeah, I was able to do season 1 of Visions. I think it was like a handoff because I had started. It was so cool. We like were doing it to do the dubs for the Japanese studios, which was really awesome because that project is so special to me. Like I think it's like the coolest Star Wars ever. But yeah, I did a little work on those also for season 1.
I do have a friend who absolutely loves Resistance, and so I'd love if you could talk about a little bit about what you worked on for that, if you remember.
Yeah, I love Resistance. It's so sweet and the art style is so interesting. That was
It
like
is.
I think I was brought on, that was like my main job that I was on was Star Wars Resistance because Clone Wars was wrapping. So when I started, it was on that, and then Bad Batch ended up going. So I was doing a million things, but Resistance was great. I worked on the back half of the second season, mostly like doing the records. So it was like very sweet. The vibe of like the studio was very nice. Everyone was like felt like a big family. I'm literally looking at my wall. I have like a signed poster with like all of the cast on it too, because that was like my first thing. Christopher Sean, who voices Kaz, is like the greatest ever. So it was like such good vibes. I was always like I could work at Lucasfilm for my whole life. Like it's so cool.
Do you have any other favorite Star Wars media that you didn't work on that you just really enjoy, whether that be books, episodes, things that you grew up with?
Yeah, I mean, always a Revenge of the Sith girl. I love it, love it, love it. Even though he broke my heart, I obviously wanted to work on Obi-Wan, but I don't know if I wanted to work on it or just like be there.
Mm,
Like I don't know if I have anything to add to it, but I really want to be there on set. The new mall show is so good. I think it's
the
like,
art
oh my
is
gosh, it's so
fantastic.
gorgeous. I would love to like be involved in that too. Pretty much anything. I think it's all really cool. I like animation. I mean, I like live action. I think it's nice to keep for me like to be like, okay, I can just be a fan of live action. I don't need to work in the live action squad. I think that's where I've settled with Star Wars because you still like can be like really excited about it that way.
Yeah, there's definitely room to be just as much of a fan as you are working in the industry for sure.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know anything that's going on over there. So I get to like I watched Mando and Grogu like with fresh eyes and it was really fun.
Oh yeah, that and Starfighter next year will also assumedly be a blast. Mm.
So excited. It's a big year for Ryan Gosling in space, I think. I think he's having a moment.
Right, right, right. I wanted to thank you so much for sitting down with us. This has been so much fun. And you're amazing. And Wikipedia thanks you for all you guys do to work on these shows.
Thank you guys so much. It's such a huge effort, I'm sure, to keep it running and like organized. So we all appreciate it in the writers' room too.